Ooh. Ah, he got off. Well, that's disheartening. It's proven to be a bit of a challenge. Finally, we got one. Morning all, Paz here. This morning I'm heading down to the Point Walter jetty and sandbar to try and catch Flathead on a weird kind of combo. After a fantastic holiday with the family, I'm back in Perth and eager to get back into the snapshots. A few weeks ago, I challenged myself to catch a size tailor on my ultralight brim setup. I had such fun that I've decided to keep that challenge going. This time, I'm after something different in one of my favourite places to fish. This week's snapshot, head down to Point Walter and try and catch a size flathead on my lightest setup. Even though the sun hadn't come up yet, the jetty was pretty busy. I wasted no time finding a spot to cast and rigging up my soft plastics. As before, I'm using my ultralight setup, a 1000 Shimano Sedona, paired with a Temu Scar 6-foot ultralight rod. The kids have dubbed it the spaghetti rod, a name that pretty much covers it. Yeah, I know, Temu, but I can't deny it's done well on both the brim and the tailor so far. Flathead, however, are a different beast. My reel has 4-pound line and leader, and while flathead can and are caught on light gear, it's going to be a challenge managing one on the light line. The short rod will also make covering ground difficult. Still, that's what my snapshots are for, to challenge myself and to answer questions that pop up during the course of my own fishing journey. Of course, it wasn't a flathead that came calling first. The area next to the jetty suddenly became busy, and my rod bent. A chopper tailor. Not what I was after, but a good warm-up. Got the fright of my life when a sinker landed near me. Shows how packed the jetty was. No harm, no foul, and I resumed my flathead retrieve, twitching and pausing. Another chopper. Apparently flathead retrieves work on tailor as well. Fun, but that's not what I'm after. As the sun rose, the flatty bite started. However, I then ran into a problem. Ooh. Ah, he got off. I've been chatting to quite a few people about flathead hookups. The flat fish seem to be experts at shaking or spitting the hook. I usually do okay, but it became apparent that hookups for this challenge were going to be difficult. Now let's re-examine that. The light, supple rod was almost bent double. However, I'm used to a longer, slightly more rigid rod. Because of the busy jetty, I also broke my own rule of walking the fish to shore and tried a leader lift. As soon as I leaned in, the rod straightened, the pressure on the fish let up, and away it went. Unfortunately, that spelled the end of my jetty fish. No other hits whatsoever. I moved down to the sandbar to try my luck there. With no one around, I was free to chat. No luck casting around the jetty. A couple of tailor and a few hookups, near misses. I do really want to land one though on the brim gear, so I'm going to try my luck out in the flats here around the sandbar.
and hopefully we can bring one in.
I'd caught nothing, but something caught me.
This bloody thing just had a go at me reef shoe. Pretty sure it tore a hole in it. I'll have to check at the end of the day.
See, check that out. Got me good. Sneaky little.
See how we go. Still, female. I'll leave it be. Not that I brought a hook or a scoop or anything. Alright, darling. Off you go. What a beautiful morning. I don't even care if I catch a fish. Actually, that's a lie. A fish would be awesome. But if a consolation prize is being out and about on a beautiful day like this, I'll take it every day of the week. Well, nothing doing. A couple of tailor, a couple of almost hookups, including one that I probably should have landed if I dragged it into shore. But hey, not every session can set the world on fire. I'm okay with it, especially after the past few weeks have been so great, been going down south and all that. Still, I really do want to catch a flathead on the brim combo, so I will be back at it again, not sure when. Of course, on my way back to the car, I'm going to stop off and have a couple more casts from the jetty, just to see if anything's actually there now. If not, I'll see you on the next session. Cheers.
Well, no flatheads so far, but I'd come away with some key learnings. Chief amongst them was keeping more pressure on the fish, adjusting for the skinny rod.
Well, here I am for back for round 2. It's a bit of a windy old morning, and it looks like that tide is ripping past the jetty, but it left me wanting last time, so I'm back for another go with the spaghetti rod.
My next session came a week later on a tight schedule. No walking the flats this time. Thankfully, the jetty was deserted.
Starting with a Crush City heavy hitter, a chartreuse colour. Hopefully it'll be easy to see. It's just gone 4:30, so we'll get our first cast. I'll stay in the light for now. I'm going to be very, very careful about reeling things in, and if it's anything sizable, it's getting walked to shore.
20 minutes later, a change was needed.
Well, the chartreuse, the heavy hitter, isn't doing too well, so I'm going to swap it out for a Bait Junkie wave minnow. I do prefer fishing soft plastic, they just seem to get me better results. One thing you got to find though is the plastic that the fish seem to be going after at the moment. I've had a lot of success with the wave minnows the past few times I've been out there, and now that it's light enough, I'll chuck on an olive green one and we'll see how we go. Alright, there we go. Let's give it a cast. See if they like the olive green today.
Nothing. Not even a touch.
In about 45 minutes, made the change to a slightly bigger jig head and a slightly bigger soft plastic, just to see if that'll make any difference. Slow morning. Wind's probably got something to do with it, but can't argue with the view. Well, that's disheartening. That bird's got a massive flathead in its bill. Clearly I got to learn from the best. Looks like we're heading for disappointment again with another session. The light rod's actually proven to be a bit of a challenge. Because it's so short, I can't really cast that far. Add to that, the light lines catch the wind like anything, which means I can't really cast off the other side of the jetty, which is where I've gotten the most of my flathead this season. So I just got to hope, keep fanning my cast, keep covering ground throughout the jetty, rinse and repeat, and hope that something comes to the party. If not, there might be a session 3 in store. Finally, we got one. At least I hope it's a flathead. Finally. Oh, you better not get off. Oh, it's a decent one too. Alright, we're walking you in.
A fish, 2 sessions in the making.
That has taken about an hour and a half of solid casting against the wind on the spaghetti rod 1,000 reel, 4-pound line, which is why I am being so careful. Oh man, I'm so happy that's happened finally. Hook right through the lip. Let's see. There you go. Lovely little flathead. Be about 30, 35. Not going to bother measuring because he's going back anyway. Don't you love it when you do a quick release, hoping to see him swim off majestically, and they just bloody sit there. There he goes. Flathead on the spaghetti rod. Awesome.
I usually fish with 6-pound line. What a difference that 2 pounds makes.
Well, to say I'm stoked with that is an understatement. I had to work really hard for that fish, and I'm not just talking about covering ground and casting and retrieving and all that. But once the fish was hooked, it's so different than my usual rod. Because this rod's so thin, it gives so much, which means I need to work that much harder to keep the pressure on the fish, especially seeing as they shake the hooks fairly easy. So I had to keep the rod essentially doubled over while I work the fish into the shallows. Add to that 4-pound line, mean I had to be really careful with the drag, really careful with actually scull dragging the fish. Had to let it kind of tire itself out, which I suppose the constant pressure on the rod's a good thing, but man, that was tough. But actually getting a fish just makes it all worthwhile. Hey, I love these snapshots, I love these challenges, and now I can only hope that I can continue to get another one. There have been birds wheeling and dealing out there for at least the last half hour. Seems like this area here going out towards Claremont is always full of chopper schools or tailors, or hopefully maybe even something else. Makes you want to get out in the yak and give it a go in this area. What do you reckon? Let me know in the comments below if you want me to give it a shot off Point Walter heading towards Claremont, see if I can rustle up a few tailor. Well, even if you don't leave comments, I'll probably end up doing it anyway. But hey, interaction's nice. The wind's died off a tiny bit, so I'm going to try and punch a few casts out this way. Now, my previous expeditions, there's kind of the edge of a weed bank with a slight drop off around about here, which seems to be where quite a few flathead tend to hold. Problem is, I'm not sure I can punch a cast out far enough to try and get my retrieve going, especially retrieving into the wind. It's okay, but nah, I wanted to get at least another 10-15 meters on that. The wind will make that really difficult, but hey, that's all we can do. A lot of you might be wondering why I don't use a net or try to leader lift the fish onto the jetty. With the lighter line, it just makes it a little bit more of a hazard, more than I'm willing to do. Otherwise I might end up parting way with the fish a bit. Oh, hang on. Oh, as I was speaking. I'll get back to you, because we got another one. Easy, easy. Swimming towards me. Doesn't know it's hooked yet. There you go, and right on that drop off, as I said. All right, now let's walk him in. See how much this rod bends compared to my usual one. Don't you shake it, don't you shake it. Some idiots left some blowies here. I think you can guess the message they spelled out. It's not ideal. But anyway, back to the fish. Now, as I was saying, a lot of you might wonder why I don't use a net or try and leader lift the flathead onto the jetty. I prefer to walk them in because it keeps tension on the line. You may have seen in the last part of the video, my last session, I tried to leader lift one, and as soon as that tension got off, it shook its head, spat the hook. Here, I get to keep that tension on the line and walk them all the way in. Plus it has the added benefit of tiring them out a little bit so they don't struggle. Oh, there's another one down there. There's a cast for an hour and a half for nothing, and our 2 within 10 minutes. The Z-Man curly tail grub, 4-inch in midnight. Midnight green seems to be working quite well. Midnight oil, sorry. So once again, look at that, hooked right in the top of the lip. Nice and easy.
2 on the board, and I'm feeling pretty good about myself at the moment. Proves it wasn't a fluke. I don't mind this ultralight thing. A bit of rod length wouldn't go amiss though. Maybe a Veritas?
Got something. It's not giving me much fight though, so I think it might only be a little one. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. I don't know. I think just woken up. Oh, here we are. Not bad. Okay, I've caught 2. Do I risk the leader lift? Yeah, right, I'll give it a go. 3, 2, 1. Ah, see, look how easy that came off, huh? As soon as it hit the ground. There you go. I think that flathead kind of just proved why I don't do leader lifts. Yeah, I managed to get onto the jetty, but as soon as I hit the jetty, the hook was out like that. Much rather walk it in. Still, with 2 in the bag, I thought I'd give it a shot. It's just gone past 7. I'll hang around till about 7:45, or until I catch another fish, whichever comes first. You may not realise or care, but I realised the other day I've actually done 20 Swan River Snapshots. This will be my 21st. That's a lot of snapshots. When I get to 25, things are going to change. That's all I'm going to say. But if you have any ideas for the next 4 snapshots, let us know. Right, that's me done. Last cast, and then it's time to go. Second last cast special.
A tiddler to finish off what ended up being a successful session.
Lovely. I'll call that. Probably the last fish of the day. He's only a little one. I'm going to risk it. 3, 2, 1, up. Oh, lovely little fish. Throw the fish, not the phone. After that fish, okay, it's time to go. One last cast. Yeah, I really meant it this time. Well, not a bad session all up. Finally got to get a flatty on the brim gear, on the spaghetti rod with the 1000 reel, 4-pound line. After a first session where I got donuts, dropped a fish and only managed a couple of tailor, finally got on 4 today. Really happy with that. And it's another snapshot ticked off. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do next. As I said, things are going to change in a few snapshots, so get your ideas down. Cheers.
It was an experience targeting flathead on my brim setup, something to further my learning and test me as an angler. I hope you enjoyed. As always, this video is dedicated to my 2 sons. This is Paz, wishing you fair winds and tight lines. Until next time.